Welcome to the Ideal Investor Show. Join us on the journey to financial success. Let's go. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Ideal Investor Show, where we like to talk about real estate and real estate investing. We bring you great guests for interviews, and I also want to make you aware that it is super beneficial to become a paid subscriber on Substack. What we are offering you there, just as a little example, is how to get to $10,000 a month in passive income as a strategy, and lots of free articles, and all of it only costs you $8 a month. And if you really want to make an even better deal, you can go for an annual subscription, and that's $80, so you get 2 months for free. I just wanted to mention that because a lot of you listening may not get our newsletter. So if you want to go to substack.com and put in Ideal Wealth Grower and then just subscribe, and that would be awesome. It would help us give you this content and give lots of value to you. So today's episode is titled Understanding Zoning Laws and Their Impact on Property Development. And I would like to use an example from my own portfolio describing what that means. So I don't know if you have listened to many of our episodes already, but for a while, my wife and I actually lived in Santa Fe, New Mexico. We bought a property there with an owner financing deal. It was a really nice house. And when we moved back to the San Diego area in California, the question was, what do we do with this property? And we decided to turn it into an investment property and rented it out. Now, how does this apply to zoning laws? At the time, one of the issues was that this neighborhood in which the house was located had only really one way to get to it, and that was basically from the core of the city out towards that neighborhood. Now, the other thing that had happened is over the years that the city of Santa Fe, with funding from the state and federal money, was able to build basically a circular ring, like 6-lane, almost interstate-like road that took traffic, instead of through the middle of the city, it took traffic around the city. And it also made it easy for people that were working for national laboratories, Los Alamos National Laboratories, to get to work. Now, what does that have to do with zoning laws? At some point, when the city was reviewing its next phase of development, it was discovered that there were some pieces of land available for sale that would allow the connection between our neighborhood, where our house was, and that big interstate-like road. So the thing that was required for that was to change the zoning of that land from agricultural to basically commercial traffic and streets and stuff like that. And as soon as that was done, permits could be given to extend an existing road from our neighborhood to connect to this big circular road. Now, what was the consequence? Because now our neighborhood was connected to this big road, all kinds of people who worked at the national laboratories and would have normally not considered our neighborhood as a nice place to live, because it would have taken a long time from their place of work to get to the neighborhood. Now that was open. And what did it do to property values? Within the completion of that road connection, within a year, our property increased 33% in value. Yes, the market was good at the time anyway, but in 1 year, 33% on top of the regular increase was just amazing. And normally I always say, you buy property for the long term and building generational wealth. But if somebody offers you, like out of nowhere, 33%, then the price would have been last year, we decided to go for that, sell the property, and allow ourselves to buy 2 other properties just based on those gains. So that is maybe a little bit of a dramatic example, but that was one of the examples of what a change in zoning laws can do to your property. Or if we had more than one property, we would have probably had this gain in value very, very quickly with this one simple change. So I'm sure that you can come up with all kinds of similar examples in your neighborhood where you look around and say, hey, this was a pasture before, or this was, used in a different way, and now they start building houses, or now they start building a road. So if you know or can anticipate any of those zoning changes, then you can imagine that that can be very, very beneficial if you own something and then the change comes in a good direction and what you own will be worth much, much more than before. So that's it for today. Be well and stay safe. And I talk to you tomorrow. And don't forget, become a subscriber on Substack and enjoy all those benefits.